Ragazzi, bambini.
Hello.
Ah, hello, 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 hello. Nisa, you need a black background.
Ah, I forget it.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
because you are now the cons. You are
I
together
want
with
to see
Emilio.
always the white
Again,
part.
yeah. You know why I have gray? You know why I have gray?
Because you're somewhere in between. Want to be the
Because
middle.
I'm not sure to be
No,
very pro.
Come on, you have to play the role. As you can imagine, also is not pro there.
Hello,
Last week.
hello, friends from all over the world, from Argentina, Belarus, Poland, Turkey, France, Romania, Germany, Serbia, Austria, Tunisia, Bulgaria, Mamma mia, Slovakia, Uzbekistan, Greece, yeah, Hungary. Nobody from Italy, come on.
Not one? Valladolid,
It's
Nigeria.
me. It's me from Italy.
Yeah. Argentina, New Zealand. Yes, New Zealand. What time is it in New Zealand? Patrizia, tell us.
It could be very, very, very late.
3 o'clock, something like this, possibly.
Very early. So a friend posted from Australia, 5 a.m.
Wonderful, wonderful. Guys, how are you?
Good, good.
Are you okay?
Yes.
perfect.
Perfect. Okay, so it means that we can start this second pro and cons. So the question of the week is, do you know May globules as a feature? Yes, I know it and I find it useful. Yes, I know it, but I don't find it very useful. I have heard about it, but never seen it. I have never heard of it. May globules. What is
May
May globules? Multiple
aggregate
ag- aggregated yellow globules.
whitish globules. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not that they were discovered in May. No, acronym. It's an acronym.
I know, and I find it useful. 51%, but almost half percent say okay, but I don't know or I don't care, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but the vast majority is for it.
Yes, 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 yes.
It's 50-50 more or less because the three answers are.
Yes.
Yeah.
50-50, 50-50. So basically today we will speak about May globules and Costantino will introduce, right, the concept and will try to convince us that May globules are relevant in our daily job while Nisa first and Emilio afterwards will try to, yeah, to be cons, to be against it.
And you are also supposed to be pro.
I'm pro. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also,
A little bit pro.
come on, Debbie.
By the way,
Go, go, go.
in Melbourne, Tilak says it's 5 a.m.
5 a.m. Yeah, it's quite late or quite early.
Quite
Yeah.
early.
Right.
That's an honor for you, for us, for you to wake up at 5 a.m. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Costantino, go ahead, go ahead. Show us, show us.
Okay. So, for those that didn't attend the previous session, we have a new format this year, and this new format is kind of sort of a jury. So you want the truth, but sometimes you can handle the truth. We have some people that are for a paper that we're discussing, and the others that are opposing it. And I need to remember to Nisa and Emilius that last time me and Jeppy won the round, and that's very good. So it's 1-0 for us, Jeppy.
Yeah.
Okay. So May globules. May globules is a feature that's very dear to me because we described it along with Christian while we were doing our fellowship in New York in Memorial. But in essence, it was an effort from all of us under the guidance, of course, of the amazing Ash Margoo. And association of multiple aggregated yellow-white globules with non-pigmented basal cell carcinoma. What we know is that dermoscopy has a very big diagnostic accuracy for basal cell carcinoma. This was a very nice semantic review and meta-analysis by author writer, where we can see a very high sensitivity and specificity of dermoscopy for the identification of basal cell carcinoma. However, if you compare pigmented versus non-pigmented basal cell carcinomas, both sensitivity and specificity of dermoscopy were significantly higher for pigmented than non-pigmented BCC. So we have all the features that were described by Peter Sawyer in the early ages of dermoscopy, the leaf-like structures, concentric structures, blue-gray ovoidness, multiple aggregated dots. But for non-pigmented basal cell carcinomas, we can see here that the sensitivity was 84.3% compared with 91.3% for pigmented lesions, and specificity 73.2% compared to 99% for pigmented basal cell carcinomas. Of course, for non-pigmented lesions, this is a very dramatic one. It's a very big basal cell carcinoma. We have the vessels. So we have arborizing vessels along with short fine telangiectasias, ulceration, erosion, and sign white blots and streaks and strands. But there are some basal cell carcinomas that are a little bit non-specific, like the one that we see here. This is non-polarized and this is polarized. Yes, we can see some short fine telangiectasias, but there are not many other specific features. What is a specific feature is this white yellowish globules that you can see both on non-polarized and polarized light, in contrast with milia-like cysts, for example, that you can see only with non-polarized light. And here is a perfect example that we used in the paper, where you have all these aggregated globules, which in confocal look like these hyper-reflective white globules. Zooming in, they're kind of, bulky. And this is OCT, where what we see is hypoechogenic, hyperechogenic lesion structures with an acoustic shadow. Histopathologically, these correspond to calcifications, probably corresponding to the long-standing tumor that has started to calcify. In the paper, we examined 656 consecutive lesions, non-pigmented. Again, I need to highlight that this feature is useful in non-pigmented lesions. So for non-pigmented BCCs, we examined 656 consecutive non-pigmented lesions that were biopsied. Out of them, 291 were BCCs, whereas the others were SCCs, AKs, LPLKs, etc. And what we found, interestingly, is that multiple aggregated yellow-white globules were present in 61 out of 291 basal cell carcinomas, so 21%. And the odds ratio was extremely high for basal cell carcinoma, so we didn't find it in many other diagnoses. So 64 of 656 cases, 61 of 291 basal cell carcinomas, and 3 out of 365 other cases. The presence was associated with a sensitivity of 20.9 and specificity of 99.2, and a very high positive predictive value and a fairly good negative predictive value. Interestingly, the odds ratio for diagnosis of BCC was 32%. And if we look at the subtypes, which is interesting, is that May globules were observed in 18 out of 32 high-risk BCCs, so 56.2%, infiltrative and morphiiform, and 41 of 210 low-risk BCCs. But out of those 41, all of them were nodular basal cell carcinomas. And it wasn't observed, so May globules were 6.5 times, odds ratio of 6.5, more likely to be observed in higher risk than lower risk non-pigmented basal cell carcinomas. And we didn't find it, interestingly, in none of the superficial basal cell carcinomas, which is also a very important feature. So if you see it, you know that the lesion is not a superficial basal. For example, but going back to what I said, this is obviously a very aggressive basal cell carcinoma, but it's pigmented. And pigmented basal cell carcinomas, in all my practice, in the thousands of BCCs I've seen, I have never seen it in a pigmented basal cell carcinoma. However, if you have this kind of whitish Fitzpatrick type 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, somewhere there, with sun damage, and you see these papules, non-pigmented, it's a very common feature that can help you in your diagnosis, like it can here, where it's more or less a featureless papule, but the May globules can lead you towards the right diagnosis. And also, you can speculate that it's a very good odds that this will be a higher risk BCC. So, one, do not treat catastrophically, like with regional treatment. Go for an excision and go with a bit wider margins than you would to begin with, so that you will be on the safe side. And I hope that we convince you about the validity of May globules.
Bravo, 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 bravo. You convinced me. You convinced me.
I'm so glad.
Nisa, do you feel convinced? Not really, right? Nisa, your microphone. Nisa, your microphone.
Okay. Konstantinos, you were great, as always.
Thank you, Manisa.
And I'm looking for my presentation.
Okay. Let's see.
My presentation.
By the way,
sorry, I'm waiting you.
Yeah. By the way, Costantino, how many you said you tested on something like 30 something high risk BCCs, or?
So 31 of the 64 were high risk, and in 18 of them we found these lesions.
Okay.
But a disclaimer, again, this was a white population from the US, very sun exposed. And this is the cases where it has the most validity.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see my screen, my dear friends?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, there are not a lot of studies regarding the May globules, and I can find out two studies other than the study that Konstantinos showed us. And this study is published in European Journal of Dermatology last year, and they look for the sensitivity and specificity of the May globules in basal cell carcinomas regarding pigmented types, non-pigmented types, and high risk and low risk types. And they examine 389 basal cell carcinomas, and the control group includes a very similar number of cases. And the cases were mostly squamous cell carcinoma and melanomas in the control group. And at the end of the study, they found that 49 cases in the BCC group showed May globules, and just 6% of the cases in the control group showed May globules. So they thought that May globules is highly specific for basal cell carcinoma. But when coming to the subtypes, the specificity, the presence of May globules in the nodular type is around 59%, and in the superficial part it was 36%, and in the infiltrative part it was 57%, and in the sclerosing type it was 75%, but the number of cases were very few in the sclerosing group and in the keratotic group, and there was not a statistically significant difference between high risk and low risk basal cell carcinomas. And they suggested May globules are a major dermatoscopic sign for the diagnosis of basal cell carcinoma, regardless of the pathology type and the pigmented or non-pigmented basal cell carcinomas. And another study is published by, again, Christian Navarrete-Deschamps and his friends, and they look for the role of ultraviolet-induced fluorescence dermatoscopy for the detection of May globus in basal cell carcinoma. And in this study, this is a multi-center basal cell carcinoma study, and they examine 43 cases of basal cell carcinomas, and they just observed May globus in 16 cases, and 5 of these were nodular, 4 were micronodular, 2 were infiltrative, and 1 morphiform, 1 adenoid, and 1 nodular cystic basal cell carcinoma. As you can see, the frequencies of the May globus regarding the histopathologic subtypes, there's no difference in the study, but they thought that UV dermatoscopy is very good to show the May globus when comparing with the polarization mode and non-polarization mode, and we can use UV mode to better see these structures at the end of their studies. And now I'm going to show you some examples of May globus in high-risk and low-risk basal cell carcinomas in my archive. And this is a case of dysplastic nevus with May globus. You can see it in polarized mode, non-polarized mode, and this is 405 nanometer sub-UV mode. Again, they are much more visible in sub-UV mode as well. And this is with photo finder image, and there are some polymorphic vessels. That's why I would like to excise this lesion, and I wasn't sure about what is this, because it was really very hard to say that this is a melanocytic lesion. It looks like a seborrheic keratosis, but the white clots are not expected to be seen in the sub-UV mode. That's why I would like to excise it, and the histopathology was dysplastic nevus in this lesion. And this is another very interesting case. And it's very hard to guess what it is. Can you say the diagnosis in this case? Polarized, non-polarized, sub-UV, and UV mode. These white clots, calcified white clots, are visible in all 4 modes very clearly. I thought that this is a basal cell carcinoma, but histopathology was poroma here. And again, as Konstantinos said,
you said poroma?
it's better. Yeah, this was poroma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Poroma looking like a basal cell carcinoma. As Konstantinos said, it's very good to observe May globules in non-pigmented basal cell carcinomas. I agree with this observation. Here, there's a pink lesion and hardly visible in the naked eye. And this is polarized dermatoscopy. You can see May globus here. And this is non-polarized mode. Again, you can see the May globus. And this is UV mode. As Christian Navarrete-Deschamps observation, you can see these white structures, white calcified nodules, much more clearly in the UV mode. And this is sub-UV mode. Again, they are very visible, and also the vessels. Histopathology is here, a superficial basal cell carcinoma, another superficial basal cell carcinoma, which is hard to see in the naked eye. And here you can see these May globus, but the histopathologic subtype here is superficial basal cell carcinoma, not a high-risk one, polarized, non-polarized. Sub-UV mode, again, these classifications are very clear with sub-UV mode. And this is UV mode. This time they are not very visible when comparing with sub-UV mode. This is a case of trichoblastoma. You can see these May globules, white structures in polarized mode, non-polarized mode. And this is sub-UV mode. And this is UV mode. And this is another superficial basal cell carcinoma, polarized mode, non-polarized mode. Again, we can see these May globus in both modes. And this is sub-UV mode. You can see the calcifications here. And this is a micronodular basal cell carcinoma. Here, the clue for micronodular basal cell carcinoma is these clustered black dots and clots. And you can also see the May globules in the other half of the lesion, half part of the lesion. Again, UV mode, sub-UV mode. And this is polarized mode. And this is non-polarized mode. Interestingly, this time, these May globules are not visible in the sub-UV mode. And this is a micronodular basal cell carcinoma, pigmented version. As Constantino said, he never see these structures in the pigmented basal cell carcinomas. In skin of color patients, we generally observe pigmented basal cell carcinomas, and it's not very rare in these basal cell carcinomas in skin of color patients. And here you can see the calcifications in all modes. And this is a nodular basal cell carcinoma. And here you can see the May globules in polarized, non-polarized, and sub-UV mode very visibly. This is a superficial basal cell carcinoma, polarized mode and non-polarized mode. And this is sub-UV mode. Again, they are very visible. And this is a case of trichoblastoma. And here you can see a lot of May globules. This is non-polarized mode, and this is sub-UV mode. They are again visible. And this is another case of trichoblastoma, a lot of May globules in non-polarized mode and sub-UV mode. So we can say that May globules, yes, they are much more common in basal cell carcinoma, but also we can observe these structures in trichoblastoma, which is a benign thing. So we can say that May globules are very specific findings for high-risk basal cell carcinomas. We can observe these structures in basal cell carcinoma, high-risk and non-high-risk types, as well as trichoblastoma very commonly.
Okay.
That's it.
Nisa, yeah, you are
Wonderful.
also quite convincing, let me tell you. So you,
By the way, Jeppe, second, there are also 2-3 questions that we can
yes,
rapidly
yes.
go. First, are May globules associated with morphea for more infiltrating or nodular? This is what we already discussed. In the initial paper, it was suggested that they are most frequent in aggressive BCCs. Now there are more recent studies that suggest that this is not the case exactly. So they might be also in low risk. Pascal has a comment, but we already mentioned that yes, there are recent articles that found also in pigmented BCC, and there is a relation with topography. I don't know if there is if they are more frequent in situations.
We analyzed for that, and they were more frequent in the face. But they're more sun exposure, so it's also supportive of the case on sun damaged skin, non-pigmented lesions, mainly.
So basically, the main criticism is the fact that not only it could be possible the May globules are not very specific for the diagnosis of BCC, because many trichoblastomas, but also some other cases like poroma or nevus can show some kind of May globules, but also it's not very specific for the high risk type of BCC.
And I also have the impression, let me tell you, that we have the tendency, every white clot that we see in a BCC, to call it May globule, while if we saw this white clot in another diagnosis, we might call it just white clot or even milia-like cysts. But Jeppe, now it's your turn, I think.
Yes, I think it's my turn. And let me tell you, Costantino said that very rarely found May globules, white clots in pigmented BCCs. So then I have to ask him, do you think that this couple of white clots can be called May globules?
So the thing is, to me, they look like milia-like cysts because this is non-polarized. If you show me polarized.
Yeah. So, for example, here, there is another one. Not very easy, right?
Not very easy. They look more superficial, but I cannot say for sure.
These are non-polarized. They are all non-polarized. Yeah. And I looked carefully, of course, a sample of a couple of hundreds of BCCs during this last week, and I found only few cases of BCCs showing white clots. But all of them were pigmented.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
These 2, 3 cases that you can see here, showing some kind of white clots are pigmented. There is top left also another one which is lightly pigmented, and in the middle you can see a couple of white roundish structures resembling May globules.
By the way, it's a superficial, obviously.
Yeah, by the way, this is a superficial. So the point is that for the moment, in my view, we should consider, of course, I mean, the point is that we need to be sure once we detect a BCC and eventual BCC, how to treat it. And if we think that we are in the field, in the area of infiltrative, of high risk BCCs, we have to use surgery. Yeah. Please remember that nodular BCC is not a high risk BCC. So nodular BCC could be considered a lesion that it's rarely recurring, okay? So together with superficial BCC, these are the two most common type of BCCs, and they are not high risk, they are low risk, okay? But look at this big lesion here. This is a big lesion in which you see the size of the lesion, and here I don't see clearly white clots. I see two types of things which are really important to detect for the assessment of a high-risk BCC, which is the presence of ulcerations. These are not erosions. These are ulcerations because they are big, and quite bleeding, you know? So they are ulcerations. And also, together with ulcerations, multiple ulcerations, you find also arborizing vessels, so tree-like vessels. There are also a few multiple blue-gray globules. This is also in line with a high-risk type of BCC. But you know what is here the most important risk factor for infiltrative BCC? You know what is the most important one?
The location.
The location, the face, exactly. When a BCC is located on the face, it's very, very probable that this BCC will be high risk. So that's why in my, let's say, collection of rules, management rules, I always say to myself and to my guys, please use surgery to treat facial BCC. On the rest of the body, use whatever. Yeah. Also cryo or cream or whatever. But on the face, we have to be careful. Emilio.
Yes, my turn, and then we get the questions. So I have a few things to say critical for my globules. First question, if they are frequent, because in some studies they were reported up to 50%. I will just show you randomly, without selection, the most recent cases of BCC that we had in our database, therefore from last week. Okay, so quickly, do you see my globules?
No.
No. No. No. No.
No.
No. Or I don't know if you want to say yes, because there are a few white clots somewhere.
Yes.
So if you like to say yes, I don't know. No. No. No.
We don't have time to see. Wait. Your mind.
Look as much time as you like. Do you see my globules?
No.
But this is all pigmented. It's our population.
No, they are not all pigmented. Okay, this is pigmented, this is pigmented, this is slightly pigmented. This is not pigmented. Do you see my globules?
And this is clearly infiltrative. This is clearly infiltrative.
I mean,
No,
come
I
on.
don't.
You have to force a lot yourself to see
No,
my.
I don't.
Do you see my globules here?
No, but
Pigmented.
show for a moment the previous case, because we have to mention something. You can understand from this picture how large is the lesion compared to what probably clinically is visible, because of this white coloration, which is also an additional clue to understand that this is an infiltrative BCC.
Absolutely. So to make the long story short, I just extracted 20 basal cell carcinomas, the last 20 basal cell carcinomas that are the ones that I'm showing to you. This is the last one. And I looked very carefully and I found May globules in 0. So if a feature is somehow frequent, you don't expect to find it in 0 of 20 basal cell carcinomas. You should expect to find it at least in some. So I had to search a lot in order to find a very few cases of BCCs with May globules. By the way, it's not only the last 20. This is a study that included, published just now in December in the Blue Journal. This included 1,000 basal cell carcinomas. And in this study that they were analytically evaluated. And in this study, we found May globules, you can see here, just 0.4% of basal cell carcinomas. So I do not think that this is a frequent finding in BCC, and that's the first criticism. The second criticism, this is an example where I think it's a good example of what we mean May globules. You agree? I guess it should be a good example. Yeah. By the way, that's not an infiltrated BCC. This is a nodular BCC. The next one is another nice example, but I don't have many. In thousands BCCs, I have very few. Yeah.
Objections.
Yeah.
Objections. Two objections. The vast majority of the basal cell carcinomas that we see in our population are pigmented, and they're obviously way more frequent in non-pigmented basal cell carcinomas. This is one. And two is that we didn't say that it's, if you look at the results, we only found them in 18 out of the 64 basal cell carcinomas. So only 18 of the 64 where we found them were high risk.
But the odds rate, another study that Lisa showed was speaking about 50%. And it's a big distance between 5% and 50. That's the point.
But the population though makes a huge difference.
Yeah. But still, I mean, if a feature is present in 3%, it's not a frequent finding for sure, as compared to the others. And then the second thing is that this is again not a high-risk BCC. This is again not a high-risk BCC with May globules. This is again not a high-risk BCC with May globules. This is one high-risk BCC with, by the way, also May globules. And this is a second high-risk morpheaform BCC with maybe, if you want to be very biased for it, you can say that there are a few May globules. Okay, accepted. But it's definitely not only in high-risk tumors. And again, I have a few more images by the way, also in superficial BCCs, some cases like this one with May globules. And let me skip a few images because it's the same thing. But in the analysis, in the same study, you can see that there was practically no difference between superficial BCC, low risk and high risk in the prevalence of May globules, which was anyhow extremely low in all subtypes. And of course, in the multivariate analysis, the May globules did not play any role at all in predicting the subtype. And finally, the most important, in my view, problem is the following. Do you agree that this is a nice example of May globules?
Yes.
Yes.
But this is not a basal cell carcinoma. This is melanoma. And also here, this is another example, I guess,
Trichoblastoma
of May globules. And this is a sebaceous adenoma, sebaceous hyperplasia practically. And I mean, if you can say any difference between the globules on the left and the globules on the right, fine, but I cannot. I think that they are the same thing, but we have the tendency to call them May globules just when the diagnosis is basal cell carcinoma. So that's, again, not a basal cell carcinoma with very similar white clods that you might want to call the May globules. Again, not a basal cell carcinoma with white clods. Again, not a basal cell carcinoma, but look how much similar these clods are to May globules. Again, the difference, BCC on the left, not a BCC on the right, but in my view, the same more or less feature. And another example of an adnexal tumor with May globules, if you like to use this term. In my view, sometimes they're also very similar to the white clods of sebaceous hyperplasia. Of course, sebaceous hyperplasia is easy to recognize, therefore we don't call them May globules. But to be honest, I am not so sure which is the difference of the white clods on the left as compared to the white clods on the right, except of the fact that on the right, they are very regularly distributed. And then there are the peripheral crown vessels that allow us to say that this is a sebaceous hyperplasia for sure. And it is, of course, but the globule itself is just a white clot. Therefore, I am not sure if they are specific for BCC. So I wonder if they are not frequent, if they do not predict aggressive subtypes, and they are also not specific. I don't know which precisely is the importance of this feature. I mean, of course, it's present in several tumors, but I don't understand which is the importance. And for me, the globules that just to joke, the globules that I like in BCC are not the globules of May or June or July, or I like the globules of December. So the December globules like work for basal cell carcinoma, they really work. And you know, these globules, where do we put them? We put them on the branches of the tree. And of course, in BCC, these globules are not white. These globules are gray, blue, or brownish sometimes, and these are really helpful for the diagnosis of BCC.
Wonderful. Mamma mia, Costantino, it will be hard this time to be the winner.
I doubt.
They were
I
very,
doubt.
they were very tough. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is that you're on our team and you didn't support it yourself. So how do you expect us to win?
By the way, there is a question, why aren't May globules just milia? Well, to be fair, theoretically, there is a difference. The May globules are visible with polarized and non-polarized light. They theoretically correspond to calcium deposits, while milia-like cysts correspond to keratin masses, and they are much better visible with non-polarized light and sometimes not visible at all when you switch to polarization. So they are not precisely the same thing. But of course, they are very, very similar, to be honest.
Yeah, many questions. Okay, histologically, yeah, exactly. We repeated again that this is calcium chart at May globules and white clots. Okay. Why were May globules only described in 2020 when the other structures were described more than 20 years ago?
Because the focus was the pigmented lesions, because the features were easier to describe, I guess. And I think that many times we mistook them for milia-like cysts, so keratin aggregations, whereas in fact they're calcium deposits. And just adding up to another question, if I feel that they're more often in long-standing lesions, yes. In order to create calcifications, the lesions need to be long-standing and have the time
But
in order for it to.
the examples that I show are very small, tiny basal cell carcinomas, Konstantinos. You remember the pink little ones, and there are a lot of May globules. So I don't think that it's specific to long-standing lesion. Even for smaller one, new onset one, we can see these structures because the examples that I show are very, very small ones.
No, but even small BCCs can be very long-standing. Like at some point, BCCs just get crazy and start to develop tremendously.
Yeah, sure.
And, how did you treat those patients with trichoblastoma on the face, Nisa? Surgery?
Actually, they were very big lesions, and the patients didn't like it. And they were long-standing lesions, and we asked the patients, and they want them to be removed, and we excise. But
Okay.
we know that it's a benign thing.
Yeah. So
Another question.
theoretically, you can make a biopsy and leave them alone, you know? So
Yeah.
Another question, which is the difference between May globules and white clods? Well, that's tough to answer. White clod is a purely descriptive term. So a May globule is a white clod, of course. So theoretically, we have the tendency to associate white clods with keratin aggregations, while May globules are calcifications. But of course, this is not easy to say when you see a white clod. You cannot say for sure if it results from keratin or from That's why I said that we have the tendency, when we know that the diagnosis is BCC, any white clot we see, to call it May globule, although it might be just keratin mass, because also in many BCCs there are keratin masses for sure. I believe the globules are more present in follicular tumors. Do you agree with this? Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Dermatoscopic differences between trichoblastoma and BCC. Well,
no way.
might be possible to discriminate. They
No
are
way.
mimics.
No,
Yes.
seriously speaking, no way, no way, no way.
It's impossible, yeah.
Why
Just the
BCC?
history. The
Yeah.
history. They are long-standing lesions and they're not growing. The history helps. Just the history.
Yeah. And the last question is very interesting. Why BCC on the face is more aggressive than in other locations? No answer, at least from my side. No idea.
One answer that is precisely what you said earlier, the fact that superficial BCC is rare on the face. So that's already one thing different as compared to the trunk, where a good proportion of basal cell carcinomas are superficial.
Another possible explanation is because of the solar elastosis and the thickening of the DEJ. So the basal layer is way more easy to infiltrate, and accordingly they can turn more aggressive.
This could be a very good option, yeah.
Third explanation might be the difficulty of the surgery. Aggressive BCCs we mean that they recur more often, and the difficulty of the surgery might contribute to this, because on the trunk usually there are no problems to excising very wide margins, while on the face we are trying to save as much as we can. Therefore, we increase the likelihood of a remnant.
By the way, I need to point out something. Nisa, what are you drinking? I loved it. What is that blue thing that you're drinking?
Blue Hawaii. Blue
Whoa.
Hawaii.
Wow.
So impressive.
It's alcoholic or it's alcoholic or just fruit?
It's a cocktail with gin and
Nice.
something.
Multicolored today because I'm orange. Nisa is blue. You are white.
I'm white.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we need to see a video, I think.
Sebastiano.
Okay. And now it's Sebi's time. A case from the audience, Sebi.
Yeah, we have just a case.
Just one case.
Yeah.
It's not Lichen.
It's not Lichen, from Paolino Francese e Pasquale Sorrentino. Female, violaceous keratonic lichenoid papules, onset 4 years ago, and the picture.
No. Look more closely the face of this lady.
Give me a moment.
Yeah.
Jeppy, give me a moment.
Okay.
I want to start the pool.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You heard the poll. Okay.
Possibilities: secondary syphilis, linear lichen luboplanus, keratosis lichenoides chronica, linear psoriasis, shiitake dermatitis. Yeah, which is also
nice diagnosis.
Well, but I mean, this is an impressive case where I learned this very peculiar clinical.
Keratosis lichenoides chronica, something like that.
Yeah, it's one of the options, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you see how
the majority.
Our friends, keratosis lichenoides chronica. This
It's right.
Yeah, okay.
is an impressive disease with a very specific clinical morphology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sebi.
Maybe.
Trichometra. This is the Neckham disease. I didn't know this. And about the face, there is the face eruption, like seborrheic dermatitis or rosacea
Yeah.
in the clinic of the keratosis lichenoid chronica.
Yeah. And there are these linear lesions which are very, very peculiar. And shiitake dermatitis, by the way, it's also producing this kind of linear erythematous lesions. It's a kind of
Have you ever seen one?
yes, I saw once, but just in a conference, not live.
Like shiitake dermatitis. Yes, it's a very nice, very catchy. I saw a shiitake. I've never seen one.
Shiitake, where
Yeah, me as well. I've never heard about it as well.
yeah, the shiitake dermatitis is something you get when you go for sushi. You go eating sushi. If you eat
Mm.
a lot of sushi, then from time to time you can get this kind of
Ah,
flagellate dermatitis. It looks
oh,
like
very interesting.
was beating you. And yeah, it's very, very impressive. Bravo, Seppi. Bravo, Seppi. It's a very good case.
Bravi, bravi.
Fantastic, fantastic. Nice. Should we see the second video now or first we see
Penelope first. Penelope first.
Penelope.
Penelope first? Perfetto. And my friends, always the are great, but this time they are so nice. Related to the previous episode, so you can imagine metaphors.
Ah, metaphoric.
You
Metaphoric.
can imagine. Okay, we start. Smiling sweetness. Okay, south of France. What do all these photos have in common metaphorically, and what is the diagnosis, dear Anisa?
Brain-like structures.
Brain-like structures. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, yeah.
But there is something more than this. Look at the globules.
Something more than this. South, south,
very-
of, south of France.
France. Look at these globules. I mean, they are very, very pigmented somehow, I think.
I know what it is.
I know that you know.
I love it. I love it.
Best.
The
It's
Saint-Tropez sign. The Saint-Tropez sign. Nisa, I know that you cannot be this is too metaphorical for you.
Initially reported after the application of self-tanner, which of course goes there on the surface of the crypts of the seborrheic keratosis. Wonderful, of course.
This is too much for me, actually.
It is been suggested that this latter should be called the Saint-Tropez sign after a leading brand of fake tan, Saint-Tropez. I know, Jeppy, this is your favorite metaphoric term, I think.
Yes, my favorite for sure. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Konstantinos, are you ready for your metaphor?
Absolutely.
The eye level, 22-year-old, tense, vesicular, clear, come on, containing cluster papules in the popliteal fossa since childhood.
Mhm.
This is called
Hypopion. Hypopion.
But
hypopion, but this is not metaphor. Yeah.
Yeah. How is the metaphor? I don't know.
there is also what metaphorical structure are we speaking about? And of course, which is the diagnosis? You know which is the diagnosis, eh?
Lymphangioma.
Lymphangioma.
Yeah.
I have to admit, guys, that if I am not wrong and my memory is not too bad, I am responsible for this term.
Really?
Really?
I think so.
December ball. December ball. Emilio.
Half
Half
lacuna.
and half lacuna pata. Come.
December ball.
Come on, Emilio.
No. But it makes sense because you know the half and half bulla. Half and
Yeah.
half bulla is a term that we use in dermatology to refer to the Sneddon-Wilkinson thing.
Yes, I know.
Sneddon-Wilkinson disease. Half and half bulla. So that was where it came from. Half and half lacuna.
Okay.
So there is
Like, we'll give you a pass on this.
there is a cultural thing behind it, you know. Yeah. Wonderful.
Hyphema sign. I like it.
Wrongly named hypopion sign because it's blood. Yeah. Hyphema sign. Wonderful. Very nice.
Nice. Beautiful.
Hyphema sign. For the philosopher,
Wonderful.
let's see, JP, what you have today. Jewelry. 85-year-old, past history of numerous non-melanoma skin cancer and AK. New onset of a nodule on the temple. This is what you get.
Okay.
Of course, the diagnosis looks very straightforward, but this is not the question here. The question is, what's the metaphoric structure are we speaking about?
White follicles, white rings.
White circles.
Come
Why
on.
not make globules?
Pearls. Yeah.
Yes, rounded white to yellowish structure surrounded by white halo grouped together to form a mosaic pattern.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. The orny pearls, you know, the pearls which are very excited.
But you know, precisely the same thing in leishmaniasis, we call it yellow tears.
Yellow tears.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a squamous cell carcinoma. And then for me, countryside, okay, 74-year-old woman, past history of numerous non-melanoma skin cancer, and a new pink lesion discovered on checkup. And of course, this has been for a long period my favorite tumor.
I love it.
Poroma.
Yeah, I had a long relationship with poromas. I had been collecting, for several years, poromas, and of course, the metaphor here is the vessels. This peculiar type of vessel we call cherry.
Cherry blossom.
The
Cherry blossom.
flower. What kind of flower is the cherry bottom? Cherry
Blossom.
Cherry blossom.
Cherry blossom.
Flower-like vessels.
Callus-like vessels. Cherry blossom.
Yeah. By the way, you know that I have seen these vessels many times also in basal cell carcinomas. Many, but
yes, many.
And sometimes in the irritated seborrheic keratosis as well.
Correct.
Melanomas as well.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Eccrine poroma, of course. Not all vascular floral patterns are eccrine poromas. For example, this is not an eccrine poroma, but what is that?
This is a wart.
It is a fibroma. Yeah.
That's
skin tag.
Yeah.
And for the nicest of the coordinators, Sebastiano, France, 55-year-old, no medical history, dome-shaped nodule on the vertex for 2 months.
Yeah.
Non-polarized light.
Okay.
Polarized
A lot of yellow. Maybe a xanogranuloma.
Yeah.
Pilomatricoma.
Or pilomatricoma.
Pilomatricoma.
What metaphorical structure are we speaking about? That's the question.
Make globules.
Come on, Nick.
Yeah, make globules.
Make globules.
Make globules. This is a pilomatricoma.
Blue, white, red.
White and red.
French flag sign. What's that? Blue,
white, red. Yeah. Melanophages, siderophages. White, yellow respond keratin muscle calcifications, the usual stuff.
Okay.
Of course, the vascular components, pilomatricoma. Yes, 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 yes.
Bene.
French flag. In fact, the original metaphor, of course, is rainbow pattern, but we support Pascal into renaming the rainbow pattern into French flag. No problem at all. I fully support this proposal.
Me too. French.
By the way, congratulations for reopening the cathedral. We're very happy about it. Everyone
Yeah.
is.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now maybe it's time to say that next episode will be the Christmas episode, let's say, will be devoted exclusively to metaphors. So we will see a lot of nice things. We're gonna enjoy, I'm sure, very, very much. By the way, Sebastiano, should we remind our friends to send cases to you?
Yes.
Yeah, please send case.
In general, but in particular also this week, send nice cases, preferably with metaphors, so that we can, Sebastiano will select one and show it during the episode. But now I think we have to see another video.
When we at Heine Optotechnik develop, improve, and produce our instruments, we first think of the many thousands of doctors worldwide who use our instruments every day. And we think about the millions of people worldwide who are examined with our instruments, the patients. We think about the fact that a good diagnosis must be as precise as possible so that diseases are detected as early as possible. We think about the future of millions of people, and we think about how that future can be a healthy future. That's why we build the best instruments. For over 75 years. Heine. Quality made in Germany.
Wonderful. Great,
Fantastic.
great.
Wait a moment.
Wow, wow.
Almost done, almost
Yes.
done. And we are quite on time, eh?
Yes, so we have to, exactly, but we have to understand who is the winner.
Ah, yes, of course.
Ah,
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I know May globules and I find them useful.
Wow.
Yes, I know, but I don't find you useful. I have heard, but I've never seen it. I never heard of it. Yeah. So basically
Konstantinos, where are you?
one and number
I'm
one. and number
here
two.
always.
Please vote just option 1 or option 2.
Ole.
Hey, we have a change. Yes.
Ah,
We lost Jeff. It's okay.
Yeah. Marginally.
marginally.
50-50.
Of course, marginally.
No, but
Pronostico.
we went from 51 to 47.
51 to 47. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marginally.
This time friendship wins.
Bravi.
Wait. We can call this a tie. This was a tie. We're still ahead.
Point is that until now, both times the accusers won. While I was at the beginning, I was sure that always the defenders will win because the defenders are the nice people and the accusers are the bad guys.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work this way.
We didn't win. It's a tie.
Bene. Ragazzi, I cannot believe it, but this time we start Kahoot at
9.
1 minute before 8. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Okay, and we have I would say, I think an easy Kahoot. Well, it's never too easy, but I think it's feasible. So I think that speed will play a very important role.
Yeah.
And let's see when it's gonna start. Okay, start. There you go. By the way, do you hear the sound or not?
No.
No sound, eh?
No.
Okay. Cherry blossom.
He or she is the winner for sure.
The problem with my Kahoot returned, as far as I can see, that people they don't appear on the screen, their nicknames at this point, but it's not a problem because they will appear as soon as we start. So in my view, we can start in 5, 4. Come on, why can I not expand the QR code? Anyhow. No. Okay, I think we can start.
Okay.
Anyway.
Here we are.
Okay, that's the first case. Do you see the small angioma?
No? Yes. Yes.
I don't see an angioma.
There is a...
11.
Very
Okay.
Yes, I see the small angioma, yes.
A small angioma. Yeah. Okay, so true or false? That's simply a seborrheic keratosis.
Yeah. Simple question.
Very simple question. That's simply a seborrheic keratosis. True or false?
But why we cannot hear the sound? No?
Yeah, I'm dancing by myself because I'm the only one hearing the sound, because probably I forgot to hear it. Yeah, but you can imagine the sound by looking at me moving. 28 correct answers, and we have the multiple dots leading E, V, and MW. Wonderful. Case number 2. No, before the case number 2, this is the non-polarized version of the image, but of course I showed you the polarized for the votation because otherwise it would be very, very easy. Case number 2, 29-year-old. That's the clinical. That is dermoscopy. Interesting.
It is interesting.
And which is the diagnosis? Nevus melanoma, clonal seborrheic keratosis, or dermofibroma? Do you know what you would have decided already?
What?
Yes.
What?
Did you decide what you would vote?
Yes.
A beautiful clonal melanoma.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, yes. And it was not in situ, by the way. It was a melanoma, which we excised under the diagnosis of a spitzoid lesion, because you can see the globules and the inverse network. That was the reason to excise it. By the way, there is also this strange projection here, but to be honest, I didn't notice it at baseline. So we excised it as a spitzoid looking lesion, and that was a 0.5, I think, melanoma. So the rule of excising spitzoid looking lesions is very, very, very important since the age was 30, of course. Belize, JB, and Jan are in the first 3 places.
Belize is my resident.
Wonderful. And the next case.
Go Belize, go. Where's Gianpaolo?
That's the clinical, that's dermoscopy. Feature full image. And simple question, that's simply a seborrheic keratosis. True or false?
Well, do you take...
Simply.
Yeah.
Simply does not exist.
Simply doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Simply doesn't work.
False. Very good. I thought that many more people would vote for yes. But it's not. It's not a seborrheic keratosis. Do you know what it is, my friends?
BCC.
BCC, yeah.
Looks like this, yeah.
Yeah, BCC. But I mean, I guess that many would also think about LPLK as an option here.
Yeah, LPLK. I was thinking about LPLK.
Makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah. Very good. So Belize was correct as far as I can see, because she remains in the first place.
Laura is in the podium as well.
Also on fire. And Dermatolog girl is on the close to the podium, and May is in the fifth place. Okay.
But you see already, May is the king. He wears the crown.
Yeah. Case number 4. You see the clinical?
Yes.
Strange, eh?
The one on the bottom.
Dermoscopy.
Oh my God.
Of lesions. And the question, I think, is very, very easy to reply if you think reasonably. Which is thicker?
Come on.
Okay. Colors.
And then you will guess the precise thickness in both of them.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
And then, wait a moment. Okay, the one on the right is the thicker, obvious. Yeah. And now tell me thickness for the one on the left and for the one on the right.
0.7 left, 1.1 right.
Okay,
Right,
Lisa?
right 1.7, and the first one is 0.4.
Left 0.7. I agree with Jeppy. Right 2.1.
Jeppy, what did you say about the left one?
0.7.
Okay, the winner for the left one, I cannot combine the answers because we have a different winner. The winner for the left one is rather Nisa, because she said 0.4 and this is 0.5.
Okay.
The winner for the one on the right is Jeppy, because he said 1.1 and this is 1.2.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. Strange, simultaneous, so different melanomas, really different one from the other, also from a morphologic point of view. Wonderful. What happened here? Oh, Jan is
Baileys, come on.
Come on, she's in the podium.
She's in the podium, of course, and very, very close, which brings us to the last one, which is this one, the clinical.
Interesting.
Dermoscopy.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
True or false? This is simply a seborrheic keratosis.
Poroma. Porokeratosis.
It looks like a poro.
Porokeratosis.
Poro something. No, I go for true.
Go for true. Bravo.
Bravo.
Was a seborrheic keratosis that we shaped, of course, in regression, but everything was fine in the end. By the way, this maybe we should, on some occasion, we should discuss once again, because we did it once in the past. Costas, based on one of your papers, to discuss about non-pigmented LPLK. So how keratosis look like when they go in regression and they do not have pigment at all.
Yes, LPLK is a very good topic. Yeah, we have to do it.
They're really tricky, when they are.
We could discuss that.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Podium. Third place goes to Spitz Lady.
Spitz Lady.
Second place to Dermotorinumab. And the winner is JB.
Bravo.
Bravo, Jane B. Brava. Wow. Wow. Who is JB?
If we have JB, that would be great.
Gemma Black. She just responded.
Gemma Black.
Gemma, join us.
Congratulations.
Gemma,
This is me.
Baby,
brava Gemma.
can you bring her in?
Brava Gemma.
Oh, that's you. Hello, Gemma.
Brava Gemma.
There she is. Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I've been desperate for over a year to get on the podium.
Are you from UK?
I'm from UK. I'm a nurse in general practice.
Oh, bravo. Congratulations.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank
Now
you.
you are also the winner of the Happy Hour quiz.
Yeah, I'm very, very pleased about that.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Among, I don't know, 200-300 people that how many participated, I don't remember. Congratulations. Really well done.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Guys, allora, are you prepared for Christmas? Did you buy gifts?
Not yet. Did you?
Yes, I did.
Next week.
Already.
Already everything. Yeah.
I'm
Wonderful.
always last minute.
You know what is my secret? I tell you my secret. Every year on Christmas time, I decide what kind of gift, and it's only one for everybody, for all the family.
Oh,
So I buy, so
Oh.
for example, 20 glasses, 20 sunglasses, 20 watches.
very good idea. And very fair.
So you have to find a unisex gift, of course.
No, they can change. I go in a shop and I find different subtypes of the same stuff. Va bene.
Wonderful.
Ragazzi,
So
do
we
you
have-
love me? Do you love me?
We love
Yeah,
you.
So much.
of
I
course.
love
We
you
love you
so.
so much.
I love you so much. Un bacione.
So-
See you next time. Next week, 2 metaphors each of us.
Yes, but next week we have no accusers and defenders, obviously. We are, yeah,
No. Only nice metaphors.
nice.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye. Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.